Good evening, everyone. It's been a long while. Hope everyone is doing great tonight. As part of my summer activities, I've also been learning how to make websites and all that. Throughout Mech Merlin, I've made a few scripts that, make things a little bit easier for me. And I figured I would improve one of those scripts. So one of those scripts is an Amazon Finder. I figured I'd make it more accessible for everyone. One of those things that I did was to make an actual website with it. Still a bit buggy, still a bit janky to be honest, but it works. It works. So yeah, here we go. This is KeebQuery. It goes through Amazon and helps you filter through keyboards a lot easier than what Amazon and what Google usually has. All I can promise is that it works. So hopefully someone can use this to their benefit. And I figure with Amazon Prime Day upon us, like today and tomorrow, and some people could try this out for me and tell me what's broken, tell me what they want implemented. So for tonight's show, I actually went through, I found a couple boards that I personally liked, and I filtered through the ones that actually had Prime Day discounts. So I wanted to show them off to you in case you guys wanted to buy a board off Amazon, buy a board for someone who's relatively new to the hobby and isn't as vested into buying a custom keyboard. Christmas is coming up, so this could be your chance to buy the boards beforehand. Alright, the first board is actually a board that I have right now. I still have to review it, still writing that script, taking me forever, but so far I've quite enjoyed it. The first board is the Yunzii AL66. Yunzii AL66. So right now it's a 30% off. It is an all aluminum 65% keyboard with a rotary encoder. And yeah, like I said earlier, I do have it right in front of me. There it is. Yeah, I am still reviewing it, but overall I'm pretty impressed. Yeah. It's got RGB underglow. It's got that knob right there. It's wireless. You can do Bluetooth, or you can do like the Wi-Fi 2.4G. And there's that switch like what Keychron does. It's got like the Mac and Windows mode. Shame. Yes, I know for sure. Let's see what else. It's gasket mounted. It's gasket mounted and it's linear, and it sounds pretty good. I was actually very surprised. I feel like this race to the bottom that we're experiencing in the mechanical keyboard community, or in the mechanical keyboard industry, it's resulting in boards that would have been like $500 boards 5 years ago. Like, this is gasket mounted aluminum, and it sounds really good, and it's got like cherry profile PBT keycaps. I was actually wondering why Yunzii sold me or sent me this board instead of the QMK one that they had, which is the AL68. From what I can tell, or at least from what I can tell from the description and the AL66, the AL68, like the only difference is QMK. Look, like the price difference is only, it's like less than 10 bucks. So I'm kind of like, why did they send me this board rather than the QMK one? Very strange. Alright, this next board is also another Yunzii board. And the reason why I'm choosing it for tonight's stream is because I think it's absolutely cute. I kind of want to buy it for my 12-year-old niece. Hopefully she doesn't watch this because it's going to be a surprise. But I think it is so darn cute. Look at that. It's another 65% board. It doesn't have like the really nice layout that I would prefer, but she's like 11, she's 12. I don't think this is something she will care about. She'll care more about how cute this thing is. Look at that. See, it's also wireless. If there was a white cat one, I probably would have gone for it. If I find something cuter, I'll buy it for my niece, but I think I will definitely join in on this before Prime Day ends, because this looks like a very niece-friendly keyboard. This next board actually caught my eye because very few boards have this layout. My favorite layout is not quite 65%. It's not quite 65%, but it's very, very close. It's actually here. It is the layout made popular by the FC660 and by Clueboard, actually. So this board is the Epomaker Galaxy 68. It is QMK powered, surprisingly. It's got that rotary encoder right there. And it's got the arrow keys slightly away from the rest of the board. Yeah, this is like the layout that I really like. Yeah. It's like, I like exploded 65%, but there's something about this 660 style layout that really gets me. I think it's not so much the, it's more of the aesthetics of it, to be honest. And I wish more boards would have this layout. Let's see what other features it's got. Custom via QMK, very cute. Wireless gaming, creamy keyboard with, oh, they lube switches now too. Dang. Okay, that's really not bad for 63 bucks. Probably just factory lube. Okay, the side profile isn't too pretty, but you know, since very few boards have this layout, I would be willing to just accept it as is. Let's see, aluminum shell. Oh, I thought it would be plastic, but it's actually metal. And a PC plate. Nice. IXP switch pad. Oh wow. Yeah, this is like basically our definition of a custom keyboard back in like 2019. All for 63 bucks. Not bad. Really not bad at all. Along the same vein, my next favorite layout is 75% keyboards. Function row, the Epomaker RT85, and this time this one has an OLED screen, but it's not QMK or VIA. It's actually a pretty neat looking board. I'm not sure I like that it has this knob on the far left here. Is that a joystick? Yes, it is a joystick. That's really cool. Okay. Joysticks on keyboards, kind of like the ThinkPads. Not a bad looking board, but also more expensive. $85.99? I feel like this could have been a little bit cheaper. This board definitely looks nicer to me, but since I am like a minimalist, I do prefer this, the Galaxy 68. I like smaller boards. I would prefer this Galaxy 68 over the AL66, to be honest. Next board, I promised I was gonna talk about a very, very cheap board. I'm sure you guys have heard of Lemokey. Lemokey is like the even cheaper, I think they're a sub-brand of Keychron. This is the X5. For 30 bucks, you can get a mechanical keyboard that, in my opinion, is really decent. OEM profile, shine through double shot ABS keycaps, dang. Brown switches, okay. What's this? Based on QMK, remap any key or macro on a web browser. Oh yeah, I like this board because it's an exploded layout. And it's also got indicator LEDs. That's nice. 30 bucks, dang. Is it hot swap? No, it is not hot swap. Yeah, I think this is a pretty decent board, especially for like a work board. Next up is a board I've actually already reviewed, and I love this board when it came out. It actually came out for 50 bucks, but this was like 3 years ago. It's gone up a little bit since then, and that's the Keychron V1. Keychron V1, really love this board. Exploded layout, QMK support, rotary encoder. It sounds really good. Unless you like this really blocky design, I wouldn't say that the V1 is a very aesthetic board. Even if you like the keycaps, it's a little much. It's not the prettiest board out there. I believe that Keychron is one of the major reasons why a lot of Amazon type vendors started adopting QMK. I used to like bring it to work a lot, but then because of the high profile keycaps, it wouldn't really fit into my backpack. Yeah, Keychron V1. I'd say this is a very, very good deal, even if it's $62.69. So speaking of Keychron, I did see a board that I'm like, that looks really nice. That's the Keychron K2 And it's also like a Hall effect keyboard. I don't have a Hall effect keyboard yet. I've been considering maybe buying one of these and just using it for like a review board. Who in the chat owns a Hall effect keyboard? Do you think it's worth it over a well-lubed linear switch? My reason for buying like a Hall effect would be if the switch is really smoother. I wanted to try one, but haven't found a single 65 that fulfills these conditions. Has a proper blocker, stepped caps lock, split backspace, and 7U bottom row. I have too many switch sets to justify buying an HE board. I agree with you on that. Like, a couple of my friends have asked me if it's worth upgrading to a Hall effect board, and I'm kind of like, if it's purely for gaming, it's not worth it. And plus, it's expensive. 111, that's a lot of money. HE switches are slightly smoother, but they sound so much worse when compared to traditional MX. Interesting. I probably would not buy an HE board. I did say I was going to talk about another Epomaker board. So for the last board that I actually like, here we go, the Epomaker AJazz AK820. What caught my eye for this was I was like, oh cool, it's another board with rotary encoder and exploded layout, and what? For 48 bucks? I'm like, holy crap. I had been waiting for like a OLED rotary encoder 75% with exploded layout for the longest time. You can now buy one for under 50 bucks. And it's wireless and gasket mounted too. I'm just like, dang. Now, I guess if you're entering the hobby for the first time and you see a board like this, you're kind of like, why should I spend more money on a custom keyboard when there's already something like this that I can spend 50 bucks on and buy? Yeah, this board has like everything I want in a 75%. But anyway, I did find boards that like once I saw them, I was like, no one should buy this board. This board is ugly. One of those boards is this, the Royal Kludge M87. This board is more of like a pet peeve for me. I do not like boards that have macro keys that are not mechanical switches or are not the same size as the rest of the other switches. I really don't like how this looks. I will give props to the use of 2 rotary encoders. I've never found a use for 2 rotary encoders. In all the boards that I've been sent, there are some boards that support double rotary encoder, and I'm kind of like, why? I don't like buying pre-made boards that are color matched. Because look at this, the keycaps match the board and match the logo. For me, when you buy a mechanical keyboard, part of the joy of owning one is that you can swap out whatever you want. You can swap out the keycaps. Like right now, you're basically locked into buying blue keycaps. Nothing else. And it needs to be the right shade of blue, otherwise your little macro keys here that you can't even change out are like completely discolored. On top of that, Royal Kludge hasn't had the best QC in a very long time. But yeah, do not buy this board. Alright, here's another board that I absolutely disliked. The Rissophi PC423. That looks so ugly to me. I guess it works if you like the industrial look. But I think the combination of the keycaps and the rest of the board just like, oh, this is terrible. Just level up on the top there. It has an on-off switch. I'm like, why? This board looks terrible. Smart screen and knob. I'm like, no thanks. I'm not a fan of this retro looking board. I like having the rotary encoder on the side like that. That's pretty cool. I don't think I've seen anyone else do that. So for me, I like having the rotary knob on the right side all the time, because sometimes when I'm like on my mouse, I tend to do this. I suppose if it's on the side, it would be even easier, because I could just move this way, up and down, rather than having to turn this way. That could work. Yeah, those keycaps are so ugly. They look like they're OEM profile. No, wait. They're SA. Or some variant of a high profile switch. They look like the sculpted SA variant. So ugly. All day battery life, 6,000 milliamp. Dang, okay. If you like retro things, or if you like retro things that are poorly implemented, it's only 39 bucks. It's almost half off, guys. Almost half off. If you do buy this board, let me know how it turns out. Is it really as ugly in person as in the pictures? Let me know. Let me know. I would love to find out. That's my overview of boards that I found interesting on Amazon Prime Day. Like I said earlier, I try to keep everything under 100 bucks and only boards that had the Prime Big Day deal. Yeah, if you're interested in checking out any of these boards, definitely go on Amazon within the next 2 days. But it's time for an unboxing. This is a board that is bad for living in Seattle. In fact, when the vendor contacted me to build it and to showcase it on stream, I'm like, you know I live in Seattle, right? Like, this board isn't gonna be optimized, and they just laughed at me. So yeah, let's go open it up. You guys should get a bigger clue once you see the packaging. There we go. The packaging. Guess what it is? $1,800? Maybe. But how does that, like, not work in Seattle? Okay. Still can't really tell what it is. Well, I know what it is, but I'm just making you guys guess. Comes with a couple stabilizers. Oh look, there's a battery right there. Bert says the Soleil, or Kirby says it's the solar powered one. Here, let me pull out the keyboard first. Oh, it's well packaged. What is it? It is the Soleil. Yeah, so yeah, it's the solar powered one indeed. And I was joking with Canon keys. I'm kind of like, you know, we don't get much sun here in Seattle. It's like, if you need me to charge this using solar powered, that might be very difficult for me. It's a very pretty white. Designed in the UK, USA, and Brazil. You know, I was talking earlier how I really liked the Keychron K2 because of the wood accents. Well, look at this. It's got wood accents. There's a plate. The plate is a PC plate and an aluminum plate. I will go with the aluminum plate. Look at that. A hot swap PCB. Magic happens here. Light pixies come alive and keyboard. This electrical engineering magic was sponsored by Canon Keys and designed by Gondo Lindrum. Okay. So that's where the battery plugs into. Cool. Let's see. These are Gateron hot swap sockets. This is probably where the solar cell or whatever you call it plugs into. Yeah, that looks like it. Soleil PCB Rev Alpha. Rev Alpha, so this is not a production unit. RC2 March 17, 2025. I'm gonna assume that the production units are not Rev Alpha. Yeah, Canon Keys did say they still need to send me some documentation about it. But looks like there is an LED up here. Reset button right there. When I first saw this board being advertised, I was like, a solar powered board. That's it. It almost feels like a gimmick because I'm just kind of like, when would you be in the sun and typing on a TKL? Like, I guess if you're lucky enough to like have like a window seat at work, or if you're at home and you work by the window, sure. But I don't know, it just felt like such like a gimmick. It's cool, okay? It's really cool. I think that's this is something new for the hobby, but like practical use case, I'm not so sure. Okay, Soleil, 450 bucks. Coming on the 10th, 10/10. Available in black walnut, e-white maple, which is what I have, the forest green walnut, which is what Orange Kirby says he loves, There is available in WinKey and WinKeyless. I just noticed mine is a WinKeyless variant. I'm available in wireless hot swap, wired hot swap, and wired solder. Powered by nature. So technically speaking, if you lived somewhere super sunny, you could potentially never have to charge this board. We expect this to surpass 12 months of use. No light at all, we expect the hyper-efficient Soleil to last up to 10 months of normal use. With just a touch of ambient light to supplement the charge, we expect this to surpass 12 months of use. So technically, if you lived somewhere super sunny and you sat in the sun or sat by a window that had a lot of sun, you might not have to charge this board. Designed for longevity, with most of the wooden pieces fitting into the keyboard without the need for screws directly threading into the wood. A striking balance of both form and function. I definitely see that. And though I see at least this middle piece right here, it seems like it's starting to pop out. Because no matter what, wood is still susceptible to temperature changes. Like I can see, hopefully you guys can see it on stream, but this particular wood accent has a bow in the middle and starting to pop out. Though when you put it on your desk, it feels flat. So I guess it's not an issue. The white maple looks really good, but I'm gonna agree with Orange Kirby that the forest green looks really good. I would disagree with the walnut though, because I think the walnut is a little too light a color. I think the forest green would have looked better with oak, like a deeper brown. And ZMK, yeah, ZMK, customize your key map. Open source, 700 milliamp battery versus the QMK 4000 milliamp hour battery. And the QMK one has no solar panel. Okay, so with that said, why would you buy a Soleil that doesn't have a solar panel? Like, I guess you would buy the Soleil with QMK Keychron highly optimized if you really wanted to use QMK. But I feel like this board is built around the solar panel. So you've got to buy the ZMK version. 180 hours versus 12 months. That is such a big difference. If you're in Washington, or if you're here in the Pacific Northwest or any other place that doesn't get much sunlight, I'm not sure how much solar powered you would get. But I will say it's a pretty cool board. See, 450 bucks starting in 3 days. That's really not bad. And okay, so I'm just touching the wooden accents here, and it almost feels like it's finished. There's definitely some finishing on it, but it doesn't. It still feels almost bare. I wonder if that's why the centerpiece is starting to bend. I would suggest trying to finish it yourself. Get some like Minwax or something and just seal the wood. It'll give more environment protection, and depending on the type of sealant that you use, you can even make it shiny. All right. Anyway, I think I've got a good feel for this board now. Quick review. Don't buy the QMK version, buy the ZMK one, because this board is solar powered. If you buy the QMK one, it doesn't have a solar panel, so why buy the QMK one? Also, what I just said, when you get this board, hopefully the wooden pieces come separate, so you can easily just seal it yourself. Like, I'm seeing some scratches on the wood here too. Yeah, that's not very good. Okay, I would say the cheapest part of this board seems to be the quality of the wood. Yeah, we checked out some of the Amazon Prime Day sales. I try to keep everything under $100. But yeah, I put out quite a few, some QMK powered, some not QMK powered. And I also talked about 2 boards that I was like, do not buy this. But yeah, I will be building the Soleil More than likely, it's looking like October 9th, which is this Thursday, right before the group buy goes live. But yeah, like I said, I will make an announcement on my Discord, so we'll see. My next stream should be this Thursday, building this board. Just have to find some switches for it. Oh look, I just realized this cloth has some holes in it. That's crazy. Okay, hopefully that's not from something sharp. There's nothing sharp here. Dang. Anyway, have a good rest of the Amazon Prime Day sales. Hopefully you find something that's worth buying. May it be a keyboard or not a keyboard. And I will see you guys on Thursday. Good night, guys. See you next time.